don't know. You can't afford to give up. Wagwan J Squad, it's your boy J and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, and if you're already a subscriber, welcome back. This video, guys, we're gonna be looking about some stew peas. Yeah man, Jamaican style stew peas. And guess what, guys? You get to join me on this journey. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Yeah man, drop the comments down in the comment section and just meet us on the other side. Everybody has their own methods and their ways how to prepare this meal. But guess what now? We are going to be doing it the old traditional way. So there are several things that you have to have in order to put together the best tasting stew peas, right? You have to make sure that you have your red peas, or in some countries they call it red kidney beans. Also, you have to make sure that you pre-prepare the pig's tail if you're going to use pig's tail, or if you don't want to use pig's tail, you can use any other meats. All you have to do is cut up your meat and season it well, and after you've seasoned it well, then you don't know there are certain things that you will add, and we will go into it as we proceed in the video. Now, first matter of duty, we're going to be going ahead and we're going to be putting the pig's tail to boil to get out that additional salt. So we're going to set that to boil, and then we're going to also go ahead and prepare our red peas or our kidney beans. As we said, you have to boil it in advance to make sure that your beans are tender, so that when you add your meat and you season up your pot, you're having the best flavor and the taste. Also, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the coconut ready, because we're going to use real Jamaican coconut milk. Okay, now for the interest of time, we're going to put the ingredients right up here. So yeah man, right where I'm pointing, you guys can find the ingredients, the general ingredients for Jamaican style stew peas right up there. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go ahead now and just clean up a clove of garlic and just add that to my peas, because you know garlic helps the peas to be tender as well. Another trick that we use in Jamaica is just to split the garlic in half. Makes it easier for it to break down in your pot. Now, as it relates to your pig's tail, guys, you have to make sure that you set it to a boil. No additional salt or anything, because remember the pig's tail is very salty. So what you have to do is set it to a boil for a period of time until that excess salt comes out. Because trust me, pig's tail can be very salty, guys. So as you can see, guys, right here, my kidney beans, my red peas, has been boiling for quite some time. So what I'm gonna be doing next, I'm gonna be picking up one or two of these beans just to make sure and see if they are at the right consistency. How do we test that in Jamaica? We squish at least one or two to, you know, see the texture, to see if it is ready. If upon squishing it we realize that it is still tough or hard, as we would say in Jamaica, then we realize that it would not be ready. But if we squish it and we realize that it is softened, then the beans are ready. So I don't know if you guys can see, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, squeeze it between my fingers, and as you can see, guys, the beans seem ready. So my next step now, guys, is to go ahead and season the pot, and as well as after seasoning the pot, I'm gonna go ahead and add my coconut milk and my pig's tail. So yeah, guys, this is a coconut. What we're gonna do now, guys, we're gonna break this open, and then we're gonna get it oxed, and then we get ourselves situated, right? Because a stew peas, we set this evening down. So in order to break the coconut open, some people, they would use a machete. See, some people would use a machete in a real authentic Jamaican style, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use an hammer. Remember, the objective is to crack the coconut open. So just a few sharp hits and you're good to go. Pull off the top, and there you would have a very flavorful drink, if you don't mind. Real coconut water. And them say coconut water or jelly water good for your heart. So talk about heart health right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead now, guys, and I'm gonna just break it up into smaller portions. So the next time you see this coconut, it is going to be ready for either gratoring or maybe for the purpose of this video, we just go ahead and blend. All right. Alright guys, so the next step is to go ahead now and get yourself a nice knife with a curved blade to get under the coconut husk. Remember guys, you have to be very careful, as I've always cautioned you. You have to be very careful when you're dealing with sharp implements like a knife or even the coconut shell, because you can actually slice your fingers and we don't want any accidents, right? So let's go ahead and get into that. Now, as my grandparents would tell you and my mother would tell you, get yourself a nice dish towel to wrap most of the blade per se, so that you have less surface to contend with, because the knife, if it slip, you can actually get yourself injured, and as I said before, we don't want none of that. So guys, as you can see, the knife is now wrapped in a dish towel. Just use your thumb as a guidance. Get under the skin, get under the coconut husk, and as I said before, just be very, very careful. You don't need to rush. Take your time.
Take your time?
Yeah, take your time.
And don't be rush?
Take your time and don't
rush.
Alright. As you guys can tell, that's the voice of CJ right there. That's my kitchen assistant. And you just wanna put the shells aside, guys. You know, that's waste right now. Some people recycle it and use it in their flower pots. Some people use it whenever they're lighting outside fires. You know, just put it one side. Some people who can't ox coconut, as we would say now, guys. They are afraid of it. Duly understandable. But as I said before, if you just take your time and be careful, you won't have any problems.
Don't be rushed. Take your time.
Take your time. Because if you don't take your time, you can get
hurt.
Alright.
You see that? Don't rush.
Exactly. Don't
rush. And be calm. You have to be
Yeah, you also have to be
calm.
Alright, tell them good CJ. You have to be calm. If you're not comfortable in the kitchen, then you can get
hurt.
Alright. So you see guys, I try to just bring him into the kitchen from early out. He's young, just 5 years old, but you have to introduce him to certain things. Of course, with limits. So there you have it guys, coconut husk. And ready for the grater.
JAE Says. And we are...
No, we're not out yet. You can't close the video yet, CJ. Always remember, guys, also to clean your surfaces as soon as you mess it up. You have some people when they're in the kitchen, they don't clean back the surface and they leave a mess. Alright, so coconuts, old traditional grater. Let's get started, guys.
Yes. Daddy, take your time.
And he's right, guys, because guess what? The grater, it has a rough edge, as you can see, a rough edge. And if you go too fast, the finger might slip. And when your finger slip, you're gonna have a very, very bad evening, because it's gonna rub on the surface of the grater and you might get yourself cut. But for persons who have experience in using a Jamaican grater for many years, you don't really have that issue. You don't really have that issue because you know how to gauge the strength that you use against the coconut to the surface of the grater. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just juice this coconut real quick so that we can get all the juices out of this coconut. Alright? So the process of juicing, guys, is to squeeze all the coconut juice. Yeah man, squeeze out all of the juices out of the coconut, as we are doing right here. So the next time you see this, it's going to be juiced and ready to pour into the pot. I'm gonna go ahead now and just strain the rest of the juice. As I had said before, you squeeze out most of the juice out of the trash. So I'm gonna go ahead now and just strain the rest of it, right? And remember, you have to squeeze all the remaining juices out of the coconut trash. Yeah man, sometimes you have to put a little strength behind it too, you know? So guys, there you have it. Richly poured, grated, squeezed, milked coconuts. And always remember to clean up after yourself. One thing I always love about my kitchen whenever I'm in the kitchen, you know, is that you can't come back and find any mess inside the kitchen, because guess what? As you cook, as you mess it up, you clean. So you clean as you go. That's one important rule of thumb, guys. Clean as you. So yeah, guys, as you can see, the peas are ready, guys. Peas are definitely ready. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, is I'm gonna go ahead and cut the pig's tail into smaller portions, and then we're gonna add that pig's tail to the peas, and we season up, and then we can take it from there. Then, guys, what we're gonna do is add our coconut milk. Now look at that, guys. Real rich, healthy looking pig's tail. So we're gonna just put that on meat board, get our knife, and if you know, the pig's tail actually has joints, so you know the bone can be very hard on the pig's tail, so you don't want to try to fight through that. Yes, you can if you have a sharp machete or something, or a very sharp knife, you can, but you know, we don't want to work harder, we want to work smarter. So this is a smart way. Find the joints of the bone and you cut right through. Just find the joints and you go right through. So guys, I've now gone ahead and I've added the pig's tail to the peas, and we're gonna allow that to fall in love for a little bit while we add seasoning, and then we'll go ahead and add, you know, the coconut juice and allow everything to just fall in love. All right, so we're gonna cover that and allow that to sit for a while. So guys, while we allow that to fall in love and to sit, we're just gonna go ahead now and just dry our board. Off camera, I actually went ahead and washed my board, because the thing about it is this: when you're handling meat and then you're gonna handle dry products, you don't necessarily want to have your board contaminated. So you have to make sure, even the basic practices of just cleaning back your board before you use it, right? This should be dry enough. So guys, there's a little trick that I learned from my mother. So in order to keep your escallion fresh, what we normally do is freeze our escallion, and you get all that juicy, lovely seasoning flavor from the escallion. So that's one trick that I learned from my mother that we're sharing with you today. We freeze our escallion. So I'm gonna go ahead now, as you can see on our board, and you know, prepare the rest of the seasoning to be added to the pot while the pig's tail and the peas, you know, get to blend their flavors and get that flavor going. All right, so we're gonna cut up all our seasoning. Right here we have our onions. We have an onion, one whole onion. We have some pimento, or allspice as some people call it. We have a good old Jamaican scotch bonnet pepper, and we have some escallion right here. We're gonna put all of that together, guys. So the next time you see this, it will be already cut up and ready to be added to the pot. Alright guys, so as promised, our main ingredients are now taken care of. So our next move is to add to the pot. So there you have it, guys. Seasoning added to the pot, guys. So just give that a nice stir so that everybody can just, you know, get into the mix. Already looking good, don't it, guys? You can see it already taking color, and some big chunks of pig's tail are already in the yeah man, the mix. So yeah man, that's how we like it, guys. But before I add the powdered seasoning, guys, I'm gonna be adding a family secret to the mix. Yeah man, you remember I told you that we have family secrets in regards to how we prepare. So this is blended seasoning, but I'm not gonna tell you what we put in there. Just gonna add a little bit to the the mixture and stir it up, and that in itself is supposed to give the meal that we're going to be preparing a nice pungent kick. We went ahead and we added some Maggi seasoning to the mix, and just for additional flavor I'm going to add some black pepper. Now some people don't really like black pepper, and I wouldn't recommend black pepper to everyone, but You know, just for additional flavor, I'm just gonna add just a little bit of black pepper. So guys, as you would know, you can't have stew peas and you don't have rice. So we're gonna go ahead now and prepare some white rice to go with the stew peas. That's how we do it in Jamaica. Match made in heaven, guys. So guys, when you're preparing rice the Jamaican way, we have a tendency to do it differently. So we go ahead now, pick out all the bad grains that are in the rice. You know, we quickly brush through them and we look for all the bad grains that we might find. So we search through the rice with our fingers. Yeah man, Jamaicans love to get their hands into it, you know. So if we can't locate any bad grains, then we go ahead and we turn on water, add water to the mix, and we do what we call washing the rice. Now the trick about washing the rice, guys, is that all the rice grains that are bad, or anything that is inside the rice that is not well good, it will float to the top, and the actual rice that are good will stay on the bottom. They will stay submerged, right? So as you can see, when I was picking out a while ago, I didn't find much, but now that I'm washing through the rice, things are floating on the top. See? So we just pour off that water, give it another quick wash. And as soon as we give it that next wash, guys, it is ready to be poured into the pot. How I learned it from my mother and my grandmother, I learned that you wash your rice, you allow your water to boil, and then you add your rice to the water. Come with me. So I'm gonna go ahead now, guys, and I'm just gonna add the rice to the boiling water. Yeah man, make sure that all your grains go into your pot. Look at that wonderful goodness, guys. And if you notice a little oil there, yeah man, I just tipped a little bit of oil inside of the pot so that you'd have a little more unique flavor to the rice as well. Not much, you know, guys, because you don't want the taste to be overbearing. Just a little bit. It also helps with the texture of the rice upon completion. Now that you've added the rice to the pot, you just give that a wonderful stir. Alright, you stir that nicely so that you don't have your rice sticking to the bottom. And then I'm gonna teach you another trick that I've learned from my grandmother as well. If you stick the fork in and your fork is able to stand up, then you have enough water. If the fork can't stand up, then it simply means that too much water is in the pot. After that, guys, all we have to do is just cover it. And if you notice, I leave a little breathing space. I don't cover it all the way. While that is over there doing what it needs to do, guys, now there's one other important step that we must take, and this is a very, very, very vital step, guys. We're gonna now add what we call in Jamaica some spinners. So I'm gonna go ahead now and just knead some flour, guys, and add the spinners to the pot. Now spinners is created when you actually just knead your flour and you make something like a dumpling, but it's not a dumpling, it's just some small roll that helps to thicken the sauce in your stew peas, and you know, it gives it that vibe. It gives it that real Jamaican authenticity. So if you go anywhere in the world and you don't see spinners in your stew peas, chances are it's not Jamaican. Alright guys, so I'm going ahead now and I'm just kneading the flour. So guys, you don't use a lot, guys, because you know it's not like you're gonna make a dumpling meal. You just want enough so that it is able to just pull everything together in regards to the stew peas. So it's a small amount, guys. Remember, you don't want to overpower it with too much water either. Just like kneading regular flour, you know. Alright, so there you have it, guys. The flour is now kneaded. All you now need to do is just take off small portions, add to your pot. Alright, meet me over there, guys. This is the finished product. Real Jamaican authentic stew peas. Hope you guys like this video. Also remember to like, subscribe, comment, And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, guys. So share it out as well. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. And until next time, as we always say on this channel, JAE Says, and we are out of here.
There's a